In this lesson, we're going to talk about not really a technique, but a wise principle contained in this game. Do you remember this old fable about an old father whose sons were always quarreling? And one day, he decided to teach them a lesson. So he gave them a bundle of sticks and asked them to break it. It was very thick, and none of them could do it. Then he untied the bundle and he gave each one of them a stick. And they broke those easily. So this bundle of sticks represents a family, the unity. When the family is united, it's strong and it can resist any hardships or outside difficulty. But when the family gets separated, it becomes weak. And the same principle works in the game of Go. When your stones are scattered around the board, it'll be easy for your opponent to attack them separately and capture them one by one. But when your stones are connected, it will be very difficult for your opponent to do anything with them. So let me start by showing you this theoretical example. It's Black's turn, and you can see that there's an obvious point in the middle. And this is where Black has to play. After this move, the Black stones are connected, and the White stones find themselves on opposite sides of the wall. Now they'll have to fight separately. Of course, if it's White's turn, then White would do exactly the same thing, connecting their stones and disconnecting Black. Of course, in an actual game, the situation when one move connects your stones and separates your opponent's stones at the same time is quite rare. But if it happens that you can kill two birds with one stone like this, you shouldn't think for too long. Just play this. And even if the situation was like this, now Black plays here and threatens to cut White. And of course, White can ignore this, but if there's nothing very urgent or gigantic on the board right now, it'll be very nice for White to play here, connect their stones, and now White feels strong and safe. Well, let's try another theoretical example. Black to play. And again, you can see that there's a focal point in the middle. So again, Black will play here, connecting his stones and disconnecting White. Remember, we learned that stones connect in groups along the lines, and here they somehow connect diagonally. This diagonal connection is sometimes called kosumi in Japanese. Oh, why am I telling you this? Forget this word right now. But even though the stones are not officially connected yet, this diagonal connection is very strong. And if White tries to disconnect, if White tries playing this, for example, then Black will connect on the other side. And the same thing happens here. White tries to cut, Black connects on the other side. The Black stones are all connected. And now let me show you a sequence that's very common in the opening. It's Black's turn here, and Black approaches the corner. White can now attach like this to the stone. Black will block. Now White needs to save the stone, and White will pull back to the corner. And now there's a cutting point left in Black's formation. And if Black doesn't do anything about it, then White will cut, and Black will be forced to fight with two stones separately. And if Black will save one of them, then White will capture the other. So it would be a good idea for Black to somehow connect these stones right now. But doesn't the simple connection work here? Of course it does. Black can just play here, and the stones are connected. But if connection is our goal, there are many ways of reaching this goal. And Black can, for example, think about playing here. This shape is called the tiger's mouth. It's a very strong and flexible shape, and the Black stones are still connected. Let's check. If White tries to cut, then this stone finds itself in Atari, and Black can capture it right away. So this move protects the Black shape. It's just another way of connecting the stones. Among many other things, Go is also a strategic war game. So the same principle that was first declared and used in ancient Rome can be also applied here. Divide and conquer. So if you want to manipulate your enemy, it's better to keep their forces separated. This way, it's going to be easier to control them. Let's see an example of this. Let's say that it's White's turn here. The White stones in the corner are completely surrounded, but the corner is alive, and Black got so carried away surrounding it that they forgot that they had left a weakness behind in their own position. White understands that if she doesn't use this chance right now, after Black connects, it's going to be nearly impossible to attack the whole Black wall. So White has to take the opportunity right now, and White cuts. Now black is split in half, and white has to kill one of the parts, right? Of course not. Remember that Go is not about capturing stones. Go is about surrounding territory. So white cuts here not to necessarily kill one of the black groups, but to attack and gain some profit while doing that. So now black will have to save both of his groups separately, and while he's doing that, he has no time to think about surrounding territory. So white will gain the initiative. But if we imagine that it's black's turn right now, then black should probably take care of this cutting point. So where would you play? Black now has to connect, but how? Of course, the solid connection still works. And black can also play the move that we saw earlier, the tiger's mouth, like this, or like this. But in this situation, black can also play a more stylish move, like this. But doesn't it seem like white can just cut here? Let's try this. If white cuts, black can now Atari from either side actually. For example, like this. White tries to escape, Atari, and do you know what this is? This is a ladder. So there is no cut. And this move also makes a connection, but it also is more active toward the center. And it prepares making territory on the right side or on the left side. But why are we always thinking about some fancy ways of connecting stones? Why not just play a simple, solid connection every time? Well, sometimes it just so happens that a solid connection simply doesn't work, and we have to look for something else. Black to play and connect all of their stones. How would you do it? Let's try solid connections first. If black connects like this, then white will cut. Black tries to connect, and the 3 black stones are cut off. Let's try again. If black connects here, again, white cuts, we're trying to connect, and now the 4 black stones are cut off. So as you can see, solid connections don't really work here, and the only connection that does is this one. It creates 3 pairs of black stones. It seems like they're disconnected, but white can't really cut them. Let's try. If white cuts from this side, black will connect. White cuts from the other side, black connects. All of black stones are safe. This type of connection in pairs is called a bamboo joint, perhaps because it resembles the nodes of bamboo. They seem so weak and fragile, but they never break. And very often when your opponent tries to cut you from 2 sides at once, this connection is the best choice. Let's see another example of this. Black to play. And again, black needs to connect their stones. This time, the solid connection actually works. Black can connect like this. It solves the connection problem, but the shape doesn't really look beautiful. What do I mean by that? I'll explain this in the next lesson, no worries. So in terms of efficiency, it's still much better for black to play here, to make a bamboo joint. After this, black can easily develop left and right, and in general, this black shape looks more pretty. And now, before we finish this lesson, let me ask you one last question about connecting stones. In this position, black has some territory at the bottom, and white has a strong wall in the center. And now, white plays here, threatening to cut black. And the question is, how should black respond? And the correct answer is that black shouldn't respond. I'm sorry, that was a trick question. But remember, when we talked about the anomalies of the first line, we said that the first line is not all about trouble. It has some benefits too. And one of those is that it allows for an easier connection. So even if white pushes here, black will easily connect on the first line like this. The black stones can be cut. See? If white plays here, black can just capture the stone. And the same thing happens if white plays like this. Black will just capture. So knowing this, black can just play elsewhere confidently. For example, black can make a good shape here. This is a tiger's mouth again. Or black can enclose the corner like this. See? Staying sharp and paying attention is very important in Go, because conditions and surroundings always change, and you need to be ready to adapt to that. Of course, knowing when you should or shouldn't cut, where you should connect, and how to do it, all of that only comes with experience. And sometimes the shape of your stones can suggest the best solution, and we're going to talk about that in the next lesson. By the way, you can also watch these lessons on our platform, gomagic.org. Except there, you'll watch them with interactive quizzes right within the lessons and practical exercises right after them. And if you enjoy watching these Go videos and you don't want to miss others like this one, go smash that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and this is Go Magic.